These are the only tips you need for YouTube right now. YouTube is about passion. The passion that gets you up at stupid o'clock in the morning or makes you squeeze in an extra hour at night to make a YouTube video. Those passion for a topic that you are talking about that makes you go out into the world and make content and go out into the world and interact with people. That passion should be the fire that fuels your videos. I love to teach people how to grow on social media, on YouTube. I love to teach people about how to earn passive income. I love to help people build their own entrepreneurship worlds, and YouTube is my base. You need to have the passion. And I don't just mean like, oh yeah, I like it. No, I mean solid gold passion to talk about something for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. Because that's truly what you're going to have to do, to talk for hours and hours and hours on end to get a channel started, to get any form of momentum, and to be willing to, for weeks, months, years on end, push it out there, to find people, to interact with people, to share on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and whatever the hell comes next. It's that passion that will fuel you for that long marathon that is ahead of you, because you're not going to sprint your way to 1 million subscribers in a week. You can't go from nowhere to millions of subscribers overnight. The only reason the big boys can do it, like Mr. Beast and stuff, is because they've got a brand and everyone's dedicated to that idea already. So when they start a new channel, boom! But nobody can go from 0 subscribers to 1 million overnight unless there is something behind them. A music career, a publicity stunt, whatever it needs to be, but the passion should be the thing that drives you now and in the future. Patience. I've been on YouTube for around about 10 years, and over those 10 years I've learned a lot. I've met a fair few people, I've had some connections, I've worked on and off with vidIQ and affiliate marketing, those kind of things, and over that time, I now have this channel which funds my life. I'm not even joking. This entire channel, via its relationships with affiliate marketing, via consultancy, via ads revenue and other things like that, this funds my life. I've got a wife and 2 kids at home and this office that I work in, and it's all done through this YouTube channel or things that are connected to this channel, my blog, that kind of thing. But it wouldn't have happened if I didn't struggle for 10 years. The ups, the downs, the learning. The learning is important. You need to understand what your channel needs to be, what your audience wants from you. You need to understand what equipment you are using, how to enact with that equipment, how to edit your videos, how to engage with the camera, how to dye your hair blue because it was grey and I'd given up of just being a giant grey. Anyway, there are things that I know now that I had no clue about 10 years ago. I know the ins and outs of the inner workings of the YouTube platform, the algorithm, most of the drop-down menus. I know people that I can communicate with and have a chat with and interact with when I'm curious about specific things. I know the blogs that I need to go to read. I know the boring places on the internet that I can go to learn new features and functionalities. These don't just get injected into your head on day one. If you was to start skydiving tomorrow, would you know everything about that thing immediately? The specific rigs, the weight limits, the age limits, the specific wins, the specific skills, whatever it needs to be. I don't think you're going to get it in day one, and you shouldn't expect to be a massive hit on YouTube in one day either. You need to understand how your audience engages with you. Do they find you funny? Do they find you weird? Are they okay with your educational style? Do you prefer the British accent over the American accent? Whatever it needs to be. What's the thing that your audience likes about you? Once you learn these things are the things you can lean on or lean out of. Are they annoying to specific audiences? Do you need to edit the videos where you jump in and out? Do they want more interactivity? Do they want you out on the streets? Do they want you skydiving skydiving in itself? Do they need it big and powerful and jumpy like a Mr. Beast video? Or in my case, are you educational and you're okay with it being slightly more static, but as long as you get the information across? Patience is the only way that you learn these things. Don't worry about million-dollar cameras. Don't worry about stupid DSLR massive nightmares. Did you know that you can start a YouTube channel with basically your passion, your brain, and one of these? Yeah, that's my missus. Hello. A smartphone can solve all your problems. You can record yourself at any point and anywhere, and that could be the start of your channel. In fact, most smartphones these days are high spec enough. They're much better than the webcam that I started on. They're much better than any compact camera that I had 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, right? The audio on a mobile phone these days is fantastic. Why? Because they're used every day for phone calls as standard. So why not get a little tripod, which could cost you $1 or $2, or stack it up against a load of books, angle it the way that you wish, and ta-da, away you go. Now, I'm not saying if you want to go out and get a DSLR camera. I mean, this one cost me 400 quid and it was gifted to me for like a Christmas present. But I've got a friend that goes out and buys bundles for her customers and her clients, and they're around about $500-600, £400-500, right? And you can get started. It's got a little mic. I'm sure I'll list my equipment down below, but you don't have to go out and spend millions and millions of pounds. It could be your webcam, it could be your smartphone, it could be a cheap DSLR camera, but don't let this be the hurdle that you stop at. Oh, I need to save up for... No, you don't need to save up for anything. Any smartphone is a good place to start, and once you start earning money, then reinvest in other equipment. Editing. Now, this is very important. I could turn this camera on and have an entire 10-15 minute video of me just chatting at the camera and nothing really changes, and it's kind of boring but informative, and nothing changes your eye, nothing goes over the screen, there's no B-roll, and by the end of it you may have got all the information or you may have fallen asleep. Editing can be done in many ways. If you need a quick edit, then you're lucky that you might be able to do it on these newfangled apps that act very much like TikTok, where you can drag them across and change the time in which the video starts. You can use things like iMovie and other things on mobile devices, and you can crop a very simple video on a mobile phone. You can then scale that up so you're on an iPad, and you can maybe install things like Adobe Rush, or I believe DaVinci has the equivalent thereof, of editing suites that you can place on an iMac or some kind of tablet device. But editing is key, and I find the more effort I put into my editing, the more results I get from my videos. Now, I'm trying a thing at the moment where I'm trying to give you more and more of me, more and more of the theory rather than just a question and an answer. And in that process, I want to engage you for longer. The videos aren't a minute and a half where it's like, here's a question, here's your solution, goodbye. I'm trying to engage and communicate with you more. And for that reason, I need to show you a little bit more. Some B-roll, some footage, some exact examples of what I'm doing, maybe zooming in and out. All of these are editing tricks that you need to pick up and you need to understand. Because once again, do you really want to be watching me for 15 minutes just talking at a camera with nothing around me? Maybe that's a bit boring. Editing can add all of those things. A random seagull, a mushroom that grows, a little lower third that tells you how to like or subscribe or anything like that, along with engaging images that show you what I am doing and why. Editing can be very important for you to learn. Long-term planning. You need to understand that when you're running a marathon, and that's what you truly are, you are running a marathon, you need to understand where the end of the marathon happens to be. You can't focus your mind on the first 100 meters when you've got another 26 miles to run. If anything, knowing where you're running to and knowing what your end goal is can help motivate you to get there. If you know that once you get this channel up and running in 2-3 years time, that could fund I don't know, your rent, or it could help pay a few of your bills, or if you're really, really lucky, it could fund your lifestyle. If you understand that if you make 2 to 3 videos a week, every week, consistently for 5 years, this could be a career for you, and that's the thing that you're driving into. Or 2 to 3 videos a week, and you understand that that's going to build your knitting business, or you're building skydivers, or introduce people to hitchhikers, or it's going to help you sell that VW camper van. Whatever it needs to be, your long-term goal is the thing that should motivate you. That passion and that goal can help push you forward into making money online and growing your YouTube channel. Now continue over to this video here to understand how you set up your YouTube channel properly, or click here if you want to boost the amount of money your channel is making.